nofap will never cure your ED unless you do this one thing that will change your situation forever. Now, I've gone over 500 plus days on nofap and even cured my corn-induced ED. In today's video, we're going to break down the exact things that you need to do to ensure that things like nofap and retention can actually fix your situation, fix your ED for good, and get your relationships back on track. Now, when we talk about this as a whole, right, the internet has popularized these ways of getting better control of yourself over the years. Of course, nofap is one of those things that you can you can relapse, you can release, but the only way you can do that, right, is with a partner. Outside of that, it's a no-go. And then, of course, retention is abstaining from everything altogether. And man, forgive me, I am a little bit under the weather, but it's interesting that these two methods, right, people tend to think that all I have to do is the 30 days, the 60 days, the 90 days, and it will absolutely cure everything, right? And I've seen it so many different times, whether on Reddit, on YouTube, right? And even in my own behavior, right? I was one of these guys who used to think all the time, man, if I could just hit that 90-day, 100-day, man, and never go back, I'll finally be good. But what tends to happen, right, what I see as a pattern over time is that people will hit these numbers. Let's say you hit the 90, right? You hit the 100, which I'm gonna be honest, majority of people are not even hitting that, right? Majority of people do not have that much control over themselves. Then, this is the worst part, right? You hit that number and then you relapse and you're back at square one, right? And you're questioning, is this ever actually going to change? Can I ever actually have these relationships, that I want to? Is it even possible? And it's a tough situation because, to think about how many days that is, right? So 90 days is about 3 months. If you go 120, 4 months, right? And you got to think, there's only 12 months in a year. So we're talking 90, right? 120, right? And think about that. If you're you don't have that many options, right? You don't have that many chances if you're hitting 120, throughout a year, right? It's really not that much. So you have to think in terms of, man, is there a better way to solve this problem, right? And the truth is that nofap and retention SR are tools in your toolbox, right? They're not the end all be all, and they will not just cure you and fix this whole situation. Now, the reason being is because they still don't necessarily address the lifestyle factors that are impacting your performance, right? And when we talk about ED, right, it really falls into two major categories. You have physical and you have psychological, right? Now, something like PID tends to be a combination of both, because I'm gonna guess this right now about the majority of people that are struggling with this. And I know this for a fact, right? The majority of people that struggle with corn, right, struggle with impulse control. So when you have something that's tempting you, right, you tend to jump right into it, right? You don't have the delayed gratification. It's the same thing with dessert, right? It's the same thing with food. It's the same thing with maybe going to sleep on time, cutting down your screen time, right? All of these things are connected, right? And you start to paint that picture and see that the biggest problem with this is just your ability to be focused on one thing at a time, right? And to delay gratification for a later period and be able to say no to something now for a better future. That's literally all it is, right? And a lot of people struggle with this, right? And what happens when you have that mindset that all I have to do is reach a certain number, it will never work long term, right? It never will. It's literally impossible mindset to work. Now, what you need to do, right, is work on the lifestyle, work on and really do research in terms of how can I improve my performance throughout my lifestyle, overall what I'm doing, right? So we all know, right, corn, right, super stimuli can mess with your head, right? Can cause you to have certain expectations that are not met when you're in a real situation. Boom, cut it out, right? Cut it down as much as you can, right? And if you want help doing that, right, you want help to, you know, be able to navigate all the factors and understand, right? Because everyone's situation is different, but at the end of the day, there are a certain number of factors, just biological science, right, that allow you to consistently perform, right? And if you want kind of that breakdown, someone to walk you through step by step, and you want to see for how I can help you, click the link in the description, book a call. Let's see how I can help you solve this problem, right? For good. Now, the thing is, right, we got to look at a couple things. Right. So I really want to put this out here because one of the biggest factors that a lot of people don't realize, and even if you're in good shape, right? Even if you have a good diet and all these things, is just how sedentary some people have become. Now, because our world, right, has changed with things like social media and AI, and you have all these things that tend to keep people inside, right? Tend to keep people staring in front of a screen all day, not moving, right? Just not moving your body around, right? Especially with COVID, right? The majority of people and their screen time shot up during COVID because they had so much time inside and they really couldn't go out, right? And the thing is, once that happened, it really changed a lot of people's just overall habits. I know personally for me, right, in terms of what I could even handle in front of a screen, that went out the window. Like my hours went dramatically up. And then you had the introduction of short form content, which again literally teaches you instant gratification, dopamine hit, dopamine hit, dopamine hit. And what are all those? It's like pulling a slot machine, right? You pull the slot machine and you see another one, you see another one, all these things, right? So what happens is you literally your brain, right, and how you operate literally gets wired for instant gratification, which is going to mess you up, right? And you can't expect it to have success and to be able to change your situation if you can't control yourself. You're cooked if you can't do any of those things, right? So what you have to do is understand that these things are tools, but what you do with that energy that you have, that you're retaining, that's inside of you, is really what makes the difference, right? So are you working out more, right? Are you drinking more water? Are you, eating the proper foods? And proper food, I'm going to be honest, man, a lot of you don't even know what that means, right? Because if you have a goal, right, you got to treat yourself. I always say, like an athlete, man, if you have a goal, treat yourself right. Treat yourself right. And maybe I'll even do some videos about, my morning routine. Or I can also do videos just about, what do you guys actually need to do to improve, what type of things should you be eating? But you got to understand that you have to keep all these things in check. And it's not going to happen overnight, but the majority of people just won't change their behavior, right, on their own without somebody to watch over them and see the type of things that they're doing wrong. Right. And I think the most painful part about all this is just it's the reality that this is your life and you only get one, and that you have potential inside of you. Right. It used to eat me up at night, pause, because it's just so difficult to know that you have, this potential about you, that you can do all of these things. It's within you, right? And think about how consistent you've been, right, with the corn, right, and the PMO, the relapsing, or even when you've gone on nofap, right? Majority of you that are watching this are like all in or nothing type of people, right? And I admire it because I'm the same type of way. But it's just that if you have a ability, right, to be consistent over a long period of time, right, for years and years on end, think about how consistent you are with the corn and how, majority of people are, right? And I'm sure you guys even heard that the OF founder had recently passed away, which is another crazy one. But you start to see, right, that all of these things can work together, right? And you start to realize that it's all within your control, in that you literally have the potential to be consistent in any area that you want to. You just have to put that energy somewhere else. So literally, if you've spent 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 plus years doing something in the wrong way and you've been consistent, right? Why not take that energy and get the dopamine from something real, right? Something in your actual life that you enjoy to do on a regular basis. Maybe it's build a business, right? Maybe it's just working out and you want to get a crazy body. And I definitely have been in the gym, you know? Like I don't stand in these videos, but you know, I've been in the gym. I've been hitting my reps. But the fact that you don't realize the type of potential and power that's within you, right? And within your seed can literally make a life, right? And the fact that you've been so consistent for so long shows me that there's something within you and that you can have better, right? You can have the partner of your dreams. You can make the money that you want to make. You can do all these things. But number one, your habits got to be on point, right? Habits make the man, and that determines your future at the end of the day, what you do with the time that you have. So if you want a step-by-step blueprint, right, you're tired of wasting months, years, struggling with the PIED, right, the corn-induced ED, you want to solve this for good, man. You don't want to struggle anymore. You want to get these happy, healthy relationships and get your life back on track. Click the link in the description, book a free call, and let's see how I can help you finally solve this problem for good. Now, again, I might be doing some more in real life type of videos just to get you guys different perspective and test some new ideas out. But again, if you learned something new from this video, man, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm out.